Stock of the day, not a huge amount of news around today, although just before came onto the show, Zip is selling off some of its overseas assets for about $20 million in cash. They reckon that's going to add to the business, much needed cash, and its share price up 11% at the moment. But stock of the day, thought we'd take a look at HealthCo Heathcare Wellness, the REIT. They will acquire 11 private hospitals from Healthscope for $1.2 billion. It'll fund the deals for a $320 million raise. $730 million will come from existing cash and debt facilities as a result of the acquisition. HealthCo Wellness bumped up guidance for dividends a 0.1%. Whoopee, to 7.6 cents. Better than nothing. Company says it increased its market cap, will likely see it join the ASX 300 as part of the next quarterly review. David Lane, what did you think of the announcement and the fact that it's going to enter possibly the S&P ASX 300 index? Is that good for the stock? Will that attract more money from some of the big fund managers?
Yeah, well, generally that is a positive sign, because what happens is the institutions will then need to upweight their holding, and some of the institutions that haven't had an exposure to it previously will need to buy the stock to increase their holding. They'll probably have an opportunity to do that over the day. I should say that Ords are actually a broker to the issue, so currently talking to clients about helping them raise some of that money. So in some respects we've got a little bit of a conflict of interest, but the capital raising, I think, looks very attractive. As you see there, the shares are down a fair bit and still trading well below their net tangible asset backing, and the company is raising money at the moment, so that'll be available to those institutions and also some sophisticated investors being able to get new shares at a discounted price. But I think that the overall acquisition is a good one. It's the Healthscope hospitals. The thing about hospitals is that you're fairly certain that you've got the tenants, whereas there's uncertainty at the moment, particularly in office property, about the future outlook for office and tenants. In hospitals and healthcare, they're here to stay, and it's a long-term asset that provides a good income, good quality assets that they're purchasing, but they also have good quality assets in their portfolio at the moment. So I think it's a good acquisition and an interesting stock that gives you a decent exposure to healthcare.
So $1.35 is the issue price, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so it's at about a 5.3 discount to the $1.37 that it was trading at, and 15.9% to the 30-day volume weighted average price of $1.55.
And what's the discount? What's the discount on assets? Because most of the REITs are in that situation at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, I had a look at the company a week or two ago for a client who has that, and I have to admit I made the recommendation that he adds to his holding before knowing about this announcement. Their NTA was around the $2 mark, so it was well above where they're trading. That will change with this capital raising and with this announcement, because they'll need to raise some debt. But certainly trading at a big discount to its NTA. And I think probably the focus that we'll see over the coming weeks with this big acquisition could well change that in the future.
Okay. Grady, what do you think of HealthCo?
This isn't one that I'm hugely familiar with, so I won't go with like a you must buy, you must sell, but it looks pretty good to me. I kind of go with consensus. Morgans and Macquarie both have a buy rating. Looks pretty good to me. The acquisition's a massive one, and it actually transforms HCW into Australia's largest diversified healthcare REIT with greater exposure to capital cities. And as David said, hospitals are going nowhere, and healthcare is going nowhere. If anything, the healthcare sector has outperformed the market over the last few years, so we know that healthcare is the way forward and the kind of value part of the market at the moment. So it's definitely one, it's definitely looking really, really good. The The acquisition of hospitals is just obviously, as you know, great. And building they've been high growth trajectory since they debuted 2 years ago. So it does look like a really, really positive thing for the company. And yeah, I think I go with it.
Okay. All right. Let's get into the stock